Hello, people. I really do want to expose all these SH Monsterarts figures like Bandai, Tamashii Nation, and Bluefin. Because we spend so much money on these figures, right? And they're not up to their quality and everything else. I want to start with King Ghidorah from 2019. This is one of the most worstest figures I've ever actually got. And the tail has popped off again. Ow. The thing about this, right, the heads keep popping off, right? And it got to the point, right, I got sick of it, right? I think it was these two heads here. They always keep popping off. And what I actually did, and I normally don't do this to figures like this, I actually have to super glue these things together to keep them, you know, on there. Like, you don't have to go out your way to buy some super glue and super glue these heads onto each other. Like, when I was bending these, right, all the time, right, they always fall off, like this. If I bend it just like this much, it pops off. These two heads always popped off the most. And the tails are just weak. And I did say in my video, I think I did super glue the wings on. Oh, this wing is just like falling off too. See? Coming off its thing like that. And what I did, right, I think I super glued this one. That's why it's not coming off. What I did, right, I got like how to explain it? You know the stuff you put on posters? It's like this like rubbery stuff. Yeah, I put a lot on this, and I think I still got a little bit in there. This figure should have been like one of the best things SH Monsterarts should have made, but it was such a downgrade, and it can't even hold its own weight. You have to use these silly stands and everything else, and not just that too, just the paint itself. And if I can vaguely remember, you know, when Godzilla King of the Monsters was actually coming out for this movie, I seen this figure very detailed, you know, and it doesn't even look that detailed. The wings look shit. Like, the faces look shit. They look very identical to each other. Like, I seen higher toys. Rephrase. I seen high toys for King Ghidorah for this one is way more better than this. And I've seen it, and I've seen people doing unboxing videos for high toys and everything else. And they're just knocking out of the park all the time. And yeah, it's just like why they didn't give it that quality. And I did see the actual figure itself when they were actually showing off all the figures at this convention. And I did see this figure itself. It looked way better what we got in our hands. And I do got the gold special colored version, and that's probably why they made that version for, because they know this version absolutely failed on them. And it's just disgusting. This one was the worstest figure I ever fucking got in history. Worstest figure I ever got in history. Let's put that on the side. And especially Rodan, like I said before in all my countless of videos, Rodan just looks like a piece of fucking beef jerky, dried up meat. They should have put more detail on the wings too. And I heard complaints about this figure too in the past before. The wing ball joint snaps off and everything else. Didn't happen to me yet, but these wings are very stiff, and I don't like to bend them that much. Like, they feel like they're very stiff. And the feet, like, if you bend them a little bit, I didn't even bend it that hard, telling you the truth. This one is fine. That one's staying on, but this one doesn't stay on. Like, you would have think they would have took more care for their figures when they were fucking making them. This is like really disgusting. And I seen NECA, if I'm correct, and I seen Higher Toys made this figure way more better. And you can see, like, in the NECA and the Higher Toys, you can actually see the flame particles coming off the wings too on them ones. And it was a very downgrade for this one. Like, they could have done better. I got this with the Mothra set. It came with Mothra and him too. I will show Mothra off. Like, especially with Mothra. This is the first time I'm complaining about this, and like, I took a step back and actually looked at it a bit more. They should have made the body of Mothra a little bit bigger. And put more detail on her. Like, she's the Queen of Monsters, for fuck's sakes, you know. They should have put more detail and, you know, art upon this figure. You know, and the plastic on this is it's just cheap shit. Like, I didn't have no problems with the joints with this one. It's just they could have done better with this figure too. Like, made the body a little bit more bigger in a way, like, and put more detail into the figure itself. And I just think it was a very downgrade, man, for Mothra 2. And yeah, and I did said to you, I will show you what I did with 2019 Godzilla, but I was not impressed with this color to this figure. I know Godzilla's original color is actually brownish color with a bit of charcoal with the dorsal plates and everything else. And I show what I did with this figure to keep this tail on. Remember I told you I used a glue gun? And that's what's holding this friggin' tail. When I first brought this figure, the tail keeps falling off all the time on me. And I have to make like kind of like a ball joint hold for this tail piece here to keep the tail on the figure very well. And see, when I used to wag it like that, it used to pop off. But now, since I've done that with that, it's not popping off. And I think this was a pretty, you know, a downgrade. They should have done more better with the detail, you know, with the figure too. It's just black all around. And they only color it's like it's brownish on the belly, on the chest and the belly, and that's basically practically it. And the nails are brown in a way, like kind of like a bony brown, in a way, like a dirty brown. And yeah, I had a lot of problems with this figure too. And that's for the 2019 line. They should have done better with the 2019 line, because they were releasing all these great monsters, like from, yeah. Which figure I should start with? Well, let's bring Shin Godzilla into this. Don't get me wrong, the figure looks nice. The paint job is very nice on this figure. But I always have this problem with this figure all the time. The tail. And I did told you in the video, the last video, the weight, it's not really in the figure itself, it's actually in the tail. And this tail can't even, you know, hold itself. Like, I'll show you. Do it again. See, it doesn't even hold itself. And that's another piece of ball joint. It keeps falling off too. Like, they should have done better for these figures too. Like, where the ball joints actually won't... Like, these ball joints are fucking useless. And people spend like thousands of dollars. Oh, the feet came off. That's a new one. Didn't expect for that one. And not just that too. I even had problems with the arms too. They should have better plastic, like a better, harder plastic for this figure too, for the arms. Right? See? I didn't even have to touch this figure that hard. Right? Now the hand is falling off. And it's a pain in the ass to actually get these things on sometimes. And yeah. And this was a bit of a shameful thing. I'm done. I'm done with this figure. Put that on the side there. I'll bring Baigen out from Final Wars. This figure has been giving me problems too. Don't get me wrong, it's a very detailed figure and everything else. Look what falls off. The head. And this piece here. On the back. And I tried so hard to get this, like, you know, armor plate into this ball joint right near its wing, and it won't even get in. Like, seriously, I'm trying to explain it as best as my abilities, and I'm trying to push it in, and it just keeps falling off every time. And I had problems with the headpiece. This is you got a different headpiece with this one too. But, like, you would have thought they would have had better sockets for their figures where the ball joint goes into. And yeah. And I don't even have to move the damn thing harshly for this. And people are spending their good-earned money buying these figures, and they're doing all this stupid shit, you know, pieces falling off and everything else. And I'm just checking for arms and legs, the wing. No, nothing's not going on with the wing. Nothing's not going on with the wing. Nothing. Yeah, put that on the side. That's another figure I'm pretty disappointed of. Put that on the side. And this is Godzilla 1991. I had one single problem with this figure. The jaw keeps popping off. The thing is, right, I left the ball joint in my my accessory cupboard part because I have a heaps of figure accessories in there, and I left the ball joint in there, and it just keeps popping off, and it doesn't hold on. And I tried to put this thing on, and it just practically hurt my fingers to actually try to put this damn thing in its mouth and try to line it up with the ball joint, and it won't go on. And then this is like meant to be one of the greatest looking Godzillas in Heisei era. One of the best looking Godzilla figures in the Heisei era. And that's all I have. This is all I can do. I can't even close its mouth because the ball joint is in the accessory part. I have to get someone with who have sensitive, like, who has good technique to actually put the freaking ball joint in there, and that's what I'm left with, a loose mouth, because they should have done better with their figures. I'm going to put that on the side. This is one of the worstest Godzilla figures I ever got in history, and I'm going to show you which one I'm talking about. I didn't even got a chance to even explain. The hand has fallen off. This is Godzilla Final Wars, and I had so much issues with this figure, and I'm going to show you. Didn't even have to pull it hard. Didn't even have to pull it hard. Didn't even have to pull it hard. The legs are good. This figure just falls apart in your hand when you're moving it. And this is one of the best good looking Godzilla figures too. One of the best. Oh, sorry, not one of the best. One of the. I'm trying to put this in the word. Rephrase my words. This was one of the good looking Godzillas in all the movies back in the days, and you would have thought they would have done better for this figure. And this is a really shame to actually see this, like pieces of the tail, body, head, claws, tail. It's just a mess of a figure, and people spend their money, good money, for this figure to get this shit. This is fucking shit. Like with all the figures what we got back in the days, it's fucking shit. And I'm pretty disappointed. And Godzilla Final Wars was one of my favorite, Godzilla movies. Back in the days. And just to see him in this fashion, in a figure, holding it as a figure, it's a joke to actually hold it like this and pieces fall off. And you have to put the figure together, put that together. See, you don't have to do this when you get these figures. Like, see, these corporate cunts, right, making these figures, right, they should do better with their figures. They should have better people in factories building these figures in great quality. And it's a fucking shame and a pity. This is meant to be like a real cool looking Godzilla, to have in your collection, and it's doing this kinds of shit to you. And I think someone warned me about this figure too when I first got it. Don't know who. Yeah, that's in now. Oh, you fucking fell off again. I didn't even have to touch this thing. It just fell off. You stay there. And not just that too, another Final Wars figure. Just looking at this, right, and I think I spent about $100 on this figure. This figure doesn't look like $100 to me, because it just looks like cheaply done. The paint, everything else. The claw pops off. See that? I'm not even that. This is the thing is, and I know a lot of people are going to complain and say, "Oh, you're forcing it." Really, not really. I am not really forcing it. And yeah, this figure doesn't worth $100 to me, because it looked like it. This just looked like what you can give to your child. You know, it just looks like, toys back in the 80s and the 90s. And you would have thought they would have put more detail and crafting to this figure. I had a lot of problems with this one too. With this. Put that there. Put that one there. Let's bring Godzilla -1. I've been having issues with this figure. It's only one issue, and I'm very disgusted with Tamashii Nations and Bandai and Bluefin, for one reason only. It has a chipped dorsal plate, and when I first got this figure, and when I unboxed it on my video, this is how the figure came like. To this moment, I am trying to actually get my refund back, or a replacement for this figure. Or let me have a look. I'm gonna have a cup of tea. It seems like they can. Like, I'm just like looking at the dorsal plate itself. It looks like these dorsal plates are individually glued together. Like, I'm seeing gaps in the dorsal plates. They could do that. Not give me a replacement. They could just take that part off, right? Take that part off from that dorsal plate off, and put a new dorsal plate on top of that. Because that's the thing is with these companies, these corporate companies who make these figures, right? Like, they should have a place in their business, right? Like a repair place. If your figure comes like this, in this fashion, with a chipped dorsal plate, and it came like that, you could just like ring them up and say, or send them an email and get this shipped wherever this was made, to get that one thing repaired. Like with all this stuff too repaired. What I've been showing you, because they don't have that on there. They should be more ahead of their time, to actually fix this. Don't give me a replacement. Just fix the problem. You don't have to give me a replacement figure. Just fix the problem. That's all you need to do. Fix the problem. I will send it out to you, send it to the manufacturers who made this figure, take this dorsal plate off, and connect the new one, and send it back to me fully repaired. That's how they should have done it. This is what they should do. Where people having complaints about figures, like they should have like a repair place where where you can send it off. They fix it up for you, and they wrap it up in bubble wrap or whatever, and send it back to you. And you don't have to look at this eyesore of a problem with a chipped dorsal plate. And this was meant to be one of the best Godzilla. Well, no, sorry, not one of the best. It's the best Godzilla movie of all time, and they gave it to me in this fucked up fashion. Like, this is an eyesore. I didn't expect to get this. I expect to get better. Don't get me wrong, the detail on this figure is iconic. But just this chipped dorsal plate is a problem. And you should have, like, places in facilities with Bluefin, Bandai, and Tamashii Nation where they should have, like, a repair, and Bluefin, and where you can take it to the repair place of that company. They don't have that. They're not ahead of their time. This is why people lose their money all the time on these things. This is the figure I brought for $500, and I brought it from Big Bad Toy Store, and they're shipping the shipments for their figures that get sent out. It's very quick. I got my figure in 4 or 5 days, and that was pretty damn quick for them to get my figure sent down here from America, from Australia. And I got this figure, Biollante, and I did had problems with this figure. Don't get me wrong, I did. And the problem I had with this figure, pieces just keep falling off. Like the ball joints on these SH Munsterarts figures, they don't hold on. They should hold on very well. They shouldn't act like this, when you buy them. And I had this one problem. And I still haven't got this thing attached to the body. This should be attached to the body very well. The head. And especially when it did came, the vines were in the box, like on the side. I'm trying to remember which one actually falls off the most. That one does. And that one does. And I didn't even have to force it. And I think this one is the only best vine from Biollante. And 3 of these vines just keep falling off. And that's a problem. I actually spent $500 damn for this figure, and it's not Big Bad Toy Store's fault, but I spent $500 damn for this figure alone to be like this. Like, come on, Bandai, Tamashii Nation, and Bluefin. You can do fucking better than that, can you? Stop giving us shit products and defected items. Like, the cool thing about this figure is the light up feature. And the detail. Don't get me wrong, the detail is awesome. And I was happy to even get this figure when it was like coming. And a lot of people say if this was practically the holy grail of Godzilla collecting. And the thing is, it has like a slit on the thing where it slits in there. And it's fucking hard to even get in there. Okay, let me line it up properly. This is what I go through with these figures. if I pose them in a certain way, I'm even afraid to even crack it because it's like plastic. Oh, bloody hell, I can't even fucking see. I need a light to see that. So this is what I go through with these figures. That's the thing is, this is the point I'm trying to bring across with SH Munsterarts, with Bandai, Tamashii Nation and Bluefin. They need to do fucking better in this. Because they keep giving us, you know, kind of like defected items. And it's fucking a joke just to look at all these figures in their quality. Like, they look good. Some of the paint jobs are good on some of the figures. But when you want to hold the figure and turn it in a certain way or something, pieces just start falling off. Like, they need to do fucking better. They need to do fucking better. Like, where the ball joints actually stay on the actual thing itself. You know, and the thing is, we're not going to keep spending our fucking money on you pricks. Right? And if you're going to give us fucking shitty items like this. And this is a lot of the reason why I've been hearing why SH Munsterarts is actually falling is because of Higher Toys, because Higher Toys has been giving out great quality figures, and not just that too, and especially NECA too, what I actually seen from their line of Godzilla figures I've seen in the past before, and I do have a couple of them, but I'm not want to show them here now. It's more, this video is more related to this problem, not showing off other figures I got. I just think it's a real downfall. Like these figures are just basically garbage. Like, another side of me is saying, you know, throw them in the fucking garbage. One side of me is saying keep them and just leave them on where they are and let them collect dust, more or less, and don't touch, you know? Don't touch. And this is my life with all these figures. And I spent so much money on these broken figures, like the company or the manufacturer company who build these figures, they don't take so much care for their figures. And not just that too, they should have more kind of like stable ball joints where it just holds on to the damn figure itself and not like fall off all the time. And shit I heard online too about, you know, like people do certain bend poses and they accidentally snap, like what I heard with Rodan. And I did heard a story what happened with Mechagodzilla, SH Munsterarts Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs Kong, and I heard one of their figures, what I heard from somebody on Facebook, one of their figures like snapped, like when he was like bending it in a certain way. Same with Rodan too. They need to do fucking better with their figures. And people are spending their good earned money like just to get just defected items that they can't even hold their place properly. It's like they're damaged, more or less. You're more or less giving us damaged shit. Damaged garbage of plastic shit. And it's a fucking shame. They could do better. And this is why SH Munsterarts is, and themselves are actually losing a lot of people. A lot of people going in the direction of higher toys. And there's this other toy company. It's not NECA, it's another one. And they're practically doing a Godzilla -1 figure. And that looks so fucking great. And they've done a couple of other figures for Godzilla and Destroyer with the burning Godzilla and everything else. And they've done a Godzilla 89 with Biolante's flower and everything else. That looks great too. That looks great too. This is why Bandai is, like SH Munsterarts themselves, are actually, you know, losing their customers because of this shit. Like, and they're about to lose me too, because I'm thinking of going in the direction of buying higher toys. And I've seen my friend Gojira buying a lot of higher toys now lately. And they are great. They're great. They look nice. They look very accurate to the movie itself. And not just that too, they actually sell a lot of movie, like, you know, like Rambo and other movie stuff in general. And I did see they sold some alien stuff. Sorry, I got a bit cramps in my legs. They sell a lot of great stuff on hire toys. And this other toy company is making other Godzilla figures too, like, you know, -1 and everything else. It's not NECA, but I see NECA done great things too. This is why SH Munsterarts is falling in a real bad fucking way because of this shit people can't stand. It's a shame and a pity. Well, I'm going to end this video. And this video went on for 38 minutes now. And I will talk to you guys later. Because I'm going through a lot of shit for Awesome Collector with my figures and him not giving me my money back and everything else. Yeah. Talk to you guys later. See you, bye, and God bless.